So I'm Aksel. I should be mentioning that Yiting Wang is leading this paper. She will present later today, so you'll meet her. Also with Staffan, and we have two other co-authors, Fredrik and Patrick, which are natural scientists. So I would like to start to stress with a thing that is quite amazing with V-Dem. So in this paper we actually use methods, top-notch methods developed by DNA people, biologists using sequencing analysis. So this is an example what we can do with this V-Dem data using methods from other disciplines, basically. The title of this paper is No Democratic Transition Without Women's Rights. So it's pretty straightforward. We attempt to explain the road to democracy, basically, and we pinpoint this important issue, the rights to women. This is our basic argument and the question for research. How do we obtain a high level of democracy in a country? And we argue that liberal rights is quite important. However, research has pinpointed to economic development, the role of economic inequality. We point, let's focus on liberal rights, and especially liberal rights for women in a society. So our argument goes that in order, or if we improve women's rights in a society, and especially we focus on the freedom to discuss, the freedom to move and hold property in a society, and also being free from forced labor, so basically slavery. This will have simultaneous processes, especially women will enter the labor market, they will achieve civic skills, etc. And this will enable the formation of political movements, so especially women's movements, and also which will build other political movements. And this will in all help create the transition to democracy through basically harder pressure on authoritarian rulers. And this is an argument which we test in this paper. We design it with a very good V-Dem data on civil liberties for women, but also civil liberties for men. And we test this on a dependent variable, which is quality of elections. So this is basically the degree of democracy. And as mentioned, we use sequence analysis. So this is a temporal process. We aim to look at what comes first. And we argue that the rights to women is essential to reach the high level of democracy. This is just to describe how the data would look like. So we have variables for civil rights. And we have the electoral principle index, which would be the response variable we try to explain. I will actually hop this because this one is much better to describe what we are seeing. We have here chosen two indices, the freedom of discussion for men and freedom of discussion for women, ranging from 0 to 4. So basically, it's increasing freedom of discussion. And you will see that countries tend to reach this one, the low one, before the electoral component index, where 4 is better, more democracy. So a country needs basically to have higher levels of freedom of discussion for men and women before reaching higher levels of democracy. So this is descriptive data. It's not really a causal argument as such, I believe, but the sequencing analysis basically show this, that we need levels of freedom discussion for men and women before we have democracy. The policy implications are quite straightforward if we buy this argument. We need to improve men's civil rights, but it is not enough. We also need to improve women's rights, and this would, in level with our argument, be essential for reaching the highest levels of democracy. And I guess this is good news. Female empowerment, that's a part of the big development agenda, and it seems like this may be a way to push also the conditions for reaching democratic societies. So that's it. Thank you.